So, what a beautiful revelation happened yesterday. We went and tried a different gym, a bit closer to where we're going to be living. And we're trying that gym because it's cheaper and we get to still do yoga. So, we did a class for an hour. And by God, it was awful. No, it weren't awful, that is a bit mean on the teacher. It was inexperienced, for sure. Especially in comparison to the two teachers that we currently have at the current gym, which is a lot more expensive. And you can just see the price difference, really, between the two sessions. But what that does for me, what the value I see in what we just went through, was now I extremely appreciate what our class actually is. And not only that, but I appreciate how far I've come, because I was doing that class, and don't get me wrong, my body isn't flexible, but I knew what was happening. I knew what was going on. I knew what positions to go into. I knew the errors I was making with my body. I knew a lot more than I thought I knew. And one of the things we was discussing on the drive home were the differences. And one difference between the two teachers is one teacher reduced her level to our level. It wasn't that she was inexperienced. It was that she reduced her experience to a bit more of a common level, which might work for some, which would have absolutely worked for us when we first started. Absolutely, probably would have felt so great. But the other teacher that we currently have, she raises everyone to her level. She doesn't compromise for everyone. Or even, she might, and she's, obviously miles above and just class. But she raises everyone up, so everyone else has to improve to get to her level, which is such the better way. Sure, it's completely hard to start and to get used to it, but then you have to rely on people's personality to then get into it. And but yeah, so it does boost my ego a little bit and says, well done, you're doing well. And it makes you really appreciate what you've got. And yeah, I absolutely love my routine. I love my system that I've got. I love the things that I do, the people I've got. I love everything about my life. And when you try and change that, it almost feels tragic, feels awful. It's like, oh, I really do not want to do that. And not only that, but you also know what's going to be good and going to be bad. Like, I knew the class was going to be bad, but you can't guarantee it because you've not done it. But I knew that it wasn't going to be up to the standard, because I'm living at a high standard. I'm spending my money on these sort of things. And it is a lot of money, and I understand that, but for me it's a priority, because it's one of the things that I love to do. One of the things that I want to focus on. Other people might want to spend the money on clothes, on partying and drinking, or eating meals out, or activities, or traveling in fancy hotels and doing trips all the time and having fancy items. Absolutely, go ahead, you love that. But for me, I think one of the biggest spends that I do is on my health, is on my diet, is on the gym. And for me, it's a priority because I want to feel great every day. That's what I want to feel. Because I was sick of feeling shit on some days when I could have helped it. That's why I don't drink, because the next day I don't want to feel shit. And if I'm honest, it's because I'm a pussy. It's because I hate that feeling. Because I'm a wimp, I don't want to feel that way. So I'm like, well, why am I making myself feel like this? It makes absolutely no sense at all. And how much would you actually pay to feel great 24/7? That's what I say. And it's how much I'm paying now, because I do feel great 24/7. The only improvement I could make at this point, I reckon, is sleep. I could get more sleep. The quality of sleep that I get is phenomenal, but I could get more sleep. But that's my priority. That's what I spend my money on. That's why I can justify the prices that I do spend, because I would be willing to sacrifice in other areas. Like, I would be willing to sacrifice buying less clothes, eating out less, doing less things to have this gym membership and to have this diet. And that's for me. And I know everyone else doesn't agree with that, and that's completely fine. That's not what interests you. But for me, I've felt days where I'm off, where my body doesn't feel great, where I've injured myself, where I know I need to move. And even a mental state of being lazy. I know what that feels like, and I hate it, and I don't want to be anywhere near there. And don't get me wrong, I'm not a fitness nut. I'm not this guy who's six-pack and muscles and completely fit and can do anything, and every day is go, 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 gym, gym, gym. That's not me either. Or even diet like strict. That's not me either. But I'm an in-between, and I'm almost a relaxed, sort of steady kind of enjoyment with it all, and not getting too deep and too serious with it. And I do just love having these experiences that make you see what you've got in life, make you see and appreciate what you actually do. Which is great because, like I said, I'm spending a lot of money on it that I want to feel great about it. Sometimes you lose it, you get lost in it. But yeah, I love the gym that I go to. I love the day that I have, and I love the time that I'm spending doing these things. Sure, I wish I had a bit more time to do other things, but I love it. And going to this gym makes me just think about my own routine and my own gym that I'm comfortable in, that I want to go to. And it's a different feeling when you actually want to go to the gym. When you've not got this anxiety of going into a gym and it feels weird and it doesn't feel like you want to be there, because then you've got to work twice as hard, one, to convince yourself to go to the gym, and two, to actually get there. Now, I don't have to convince myself to go to the gym because I'm like, yeah, I like it. I like the place that I'm going to. Whereas there's just small little differences when you walk into a place that matter for me. And it's interesting. It's interesting to have actually seen and experienced it, because it just makes your days better. Now, especially for this week, I'm going to go into the gym every time. I'm going to have a yoga class for a week. I'm going to be thinking, God, this is it. This is what I wanted without even knowing or trying that hard to find. And I love things that just give me a great appreciation. But yeah, so it's not wasted time, but yeah. Anyway, at work now, so peace.